How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're forging forward. I just had a little short message today. Things I've been percolating, moving through myself that I felt to share about purpose and mission, actually. A lot of people ask, what is my purpose? I don't know my purpose. What am I here for? And get really, really frustrated about it. Like really frustrated about it. Can you relate to that? Like, oh, I just want to know why I'm here. And I have a few thoughts about this and a few my perspective, basically. I've had a really interesting personal journey, and I've come to some new ways of thinking and playing with this idea of purpose. So my personal beliefs about purpose is that we don't just have a purpose that we're here to fulfill, and if we don't do it, we're off. It's much more fluid than that. However, we might come in with a very specific personal mission, and that is a bit different. And you still don't have to worry about it. If you're here for a specific mission, you will know about it. It will find you. And that's what happened to me. So I just want to share a little bit about my journey and what I've been through. So I'm 50, and I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have a clue that all I would be just doing what I'm doing now, sharing light language transmissions, that I'd be a cosmic priestess, that I would be really doing light work, spiritual warrior work. That was completely unknown to me. It wasn't even on my radar. I grew up as a Christian. My dad was a church leader. I grew up immersed in that. It was a very modern sort of Christian church, but it was still kind of, that was my framework for understanding and relating to the world and relating to God. And I had chronic fatigue when I was 19. I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. I've spent a lot of my childhood being run down with viruses and illness. It wasn't until really I reached 40, so 10 years ago, that I realized that I had CPTSD and had to do a lot of trauma healing. I don't know, I'm sure there are many of you who might have a similar experience. If you're a sensitive soul, if you're a starseed, like me, you might have felt understood for a long, long time, misunderstood for a long, long time. You might have felt there was something wrong with you. I used to regularly say that I was defective and just too sensitive to cope with living in this world. I spent a lot of my childhood deeply, deeply unhappy and feeling sort of this sense of, well, I was really in freeze mode a lot, functional freeze. And I spent a lot of my childhood in dissociation. And a lot of that time I was, bullied and just felt like, why am I even here? But I journeyed on and I found outlets. I loved art, I loved nature, and I used to just hide away and focus on that. And then I did all my trauma healing eventually, and I completely healed from chronic fatigue and all ailments. But that journey was all part of my purpose, all foundational work. And I don't regret any of it. I don't judge any of it. Also, part of my purpose is me being compassionate and kind and loving and bringing that to the world in any way, whether it's through caring for my pets or smiling at strangers or giving someone a hug who needs it, calling up a friend. All of that is still my purpose. Purpose changes as we go through life. But we came in with a soul blueprint, a soul plan, and sort of some kind of soul personality, soul Blueprint is the word that keeps coming to me, which is where we're here to grow, evolve, and expand as a soul. And with our experiences through life and self-discovery and journeying, we discover more and more of who we are, and we bring our uniqueness to the world, and all that serves a purpose. All of that is a purpose. There's nothing that we're doing that is never not really of purpose. We can turn our back and make decisions that turn away from that, but there are certain things that will be in place that if they're part of your soul blueprint, they will happen in your life. If you're supposed to meet certain people, if you're supposed to fulfill a certain role or interact with certain people, we have these karmic relationships, we have soul history and soul things playing out, we have our ancestral stuff. All of that comes into the mix, and then our personality and what brings us joy and lights us up and helps us feel alive and free, all of that comes into the melting pot of purpose. And as we go throughout our lives, that might get to flow into a job, that might flow into a artistic expression, or a role as an engineer, or a role as a whatever. It can literally be anything, and nothing is not on purpose. And we center as if we're sort of spiritual. And I say that I did that because actually this is really important, because we think if we're on a spiritual path that we still have, a lot of us have this idea based on separation that some things are spiritual and some things are not. And this comes into this whole thing of purpose, that our purpose has to be spiritual, and spiritual means this. Spiritual means this pious thing that is only sort of doing a job that is spiritual and blah, blah, blah. I don't have that belief. I feel like we're here to live an embodied life where spirituality is in every part of our life. There is no separation. So we might have a spiritual practice, but really, your spiritual practice is about cultivating more of your presence and connecting more of your inner wisdom and your light, so you can bring more of that into every part of your life, whether that's tending to plants like I like to do, or whether that is making your cup of coffee in the morning, or whether that is playing with your kids, whether that is making love, whether that is going to the supermarket. All of it is living embodied spirituality, living as your light. There is nothing that is not. Source is in everything. Spirituality, if you want to call that, spirituality can mean a lot of different things for different people. So my spiritual path, what I feel is being an embodiment of your soul light that then expresses through this form in all areas of your life, into the most mundane, into the most profound. Now, then there's your mission. So I've been living my purpose all my life. Even the parts that were not considered to be purposeful were purposeful. All those times I was in deep despair, in deep illness, in struggle, all of that actually was serving me and helping me become prepared to fulfill my mission. And my mission is something that my soul came in with, that was very specific, that I had no conscious awareness of. That doesn't mean that's the case for everyone. Some people come in knowing their gifts at a very young age and having that sense of purpose, and I'm not going to get confused, sense of mission early on. But for me, it was an abrupt awakening experience and a soul calling, whereas like I have no choice in this. Of course, I sort of have some degree of choice. I have free will, but I don't mean it like that. I mean like it found me. I did not go looking for it. I did not seek it out. I did not have any concept, reference point, context for what I'm doing now. I had a very dramatic spiritual awakening where I could suddenly see all sorts of energies. My mediumship abilities were opened. The light language came through, channeling. I had to really do a lot of shadow work, and let's say sort of I had some kind of a shamanic awakening, you might say, even though I don't say I practice shamanism at all. That's not me, but it's in the sense that I came in to experience a full spectrum of energy so I could be masterful and work with energy. So that included very high vibrational energies and very low vibrational energies. And so now I work with those energies, or I'm an energy clearer and alchemist. And I needed all that training. And that was a very abrupt, dramatic spiritual awakening that I had no conscious awareness of. It completely freaked me out. It was, I might talk about more of that another time, because I could really go off on one here about that. Maybe I'll share that another time. But essentially, through that process, I came into this whole new awareness of my multidimensionality and a completely different perspective on life. As this is kind of what awakening is really, but everyone goes through it differently. And it's become quite clear to me that it was because I'm here to fulfill a mission as a spiritual warrior, as a cosmic priestess, to work bringing through very specific frequencies to ground and embody to help this ascension process. So many of you can probably relate to this, but if you're feeling a bit freaked out and you're not sure, maybe you're going through this and maybe you've kind of been ignoring your soul's calling or thinking, what the F is going on right now? Because we are at a real pivotal point, especially this year as we shift out of, Pluto in Capricorn to Pluto in Aquarius and lots of other stuff. There's something really deep and profound happening. I don't know if you can feel it, but all that I bring through, my cosmic connections, my sort of multidimensionality that I bring through this physical vessel and out into the world, is what's going to happen for many of us. There's not going to be this sense of separation between us and the cosmos, us and anything really, because everything is interconnected. So if you're feeling you don't know what your purpose is, I want to reassure you that you're living your purpose, and just you being you and expressing yourself and doing what lights you up and that feels good to you, that's you living your purpose. And even the bits that don't feel like that can still be on your part of your purpose. I had to go through a lot of challenge and trauma for my path. That was what my soul chose. Every time I questioned it, all of my guidance was like, this is here to serve you. You need to go through these karmic cycles. You need to go through these, heal these past lives. Basically, I have to come here to heal my ancestry, heal all my other lifetimes, and really come here as a spiritual warrior to help anchor new light codes and to help people come back into their sovereignty and their wholeness by removing all these programs and distorted fear and control-based energies that I can see, and help remove those from people's fields. That is something I had no concept of. I couldn't have even have dreamed it up. I couldn't have put it on a vision board. I could not have visualized it at all. So whether you sort of want to or not, if you came here with a soul mission, it will call you into that path like it did me. And part of my path is as a high priestess. So the priestess path is quite specific, and not everyone will be called in the way I have been called, but you might have been. And if you are freaking out and going through a lot of this spiritual awakening stuff that is quite jarring, quite disconcerting, and you're experiencing some weird stuff, don't dismay. You're here for this. And all of the challenges, all of part of your life have built foundational work to help prepare you. And you might be still being prepared. As we awaken and grow and evolve and enlighten, it doesn't mean things necessarily get easier or smoother or always brighter, not all the time, because we're always growing, evolving, healing, expanding. And if we come in for this time, this pivotal point in history, we came in for the challenge. We came in for these rough, rocky times because we have the power for that. And all my years of feeling deeply powerless with chronic fatigue and all of my upbringing with this religious dogma, even though I wouldn't call it that, it was still a very rigid belief system. All of that was all part of my soul's evolution. So right now, I can be in my own authority, and I can help others come into their sovereignty and own authority, to break free from these kind of dogmas, these control patterns, these systems and structures. All the time I felt deeply powerless was so I can become feeling more empowered, more powerful as the light I am, not placing the authority and power outside of myself, which is what I always used to do. So all of that was helping me right now to sit here in front of whoever's watching this, whoever's still watching this. I hope it's helping. I kind of am rambling a bit today, but I just felt this, I wanted to speak about this. All of those moments where I felt deeply powerless, like a victim, like defective, too sensitive, not cut out for this world. All of that was part of my soul's evolution. So I can, like, that was the shadow that I brought all the light to, and I still am. You know, it's a continual journey, but I'm obviously much further along than I was. So I could really become masterful and know my power, know my authority, bring my light, know that the divine is within me. It's opposite to my upbringing. Heal all the trauma, heal the wounding that spanned lifetimes. For me, there were karmic cycles and past life patterns of being in power, you know, with power dynamics, other sides of power dynamics. And here I was told that I'm here to use my voice as a healing instrument. And I had no idea what that meant until the light language started coming through. And I didn't know what light language was. I had to Google it. I'm still learning about my multidimensionality and, you know, what all this means, because it goes way beyond the rational, way beyond the logical. And yes, I've had to heal, like many of you who might be starseed sensitives who are watching, massive amounts of trauma from this lifetime and other lifetimes of persecution, the witch wound, all of that stuff. All you healers will probably have gone through that. So trust that you're always in purpose, but know that you might have a mission to play and it will find you. You do not have to go searching for it. It's about, in fact, the more you go searching for it, the more you can throw off, because I did that for a while. I was trying to find context. I think it's natural. We're trying to find context for things that have no context. We try to find meaning outside of us for something that really can only be found within us. And that takes a journey. It took me a few years of bouncing back and forth, really thinking, oh, am I this? Am I this? Or do I align with that ideology or that spiritual teacher? And I had to strip away so much of it. When I was in the depth of my spiritual awakening practice, awakening, I had to stop reading books. It was a real inner journey. I had to cut out all distractions. All my inner and outer life kind of fell apart. So I had to completely only trust in my inner authority, my inner knowing. With it was quite a crazy, scary journey. But it was that which developed that strength, so I couldn't have attachments to anything outside of myself. I couldn't put the power outside of myself. It had to be within me to do the work that I'm here to do. It had to come from a place of complete authenticity, complete integrity and purity. And sometimes your life has to kind of fall apart for you to fall into place. And that's what's happening to me. And that's why I'm showing up now, bringing this to you, because I really hope this serves you. So let's see if there's any light language that wants to come through. I don't know if it does today. I just felt like talking a bit about that to you, because that's been playing on my mind a little bit. And I think that we're shifting into energies where if you have a real calling, a soul mission that will become known to you, it will kind of kick in. For me, I felt like a sleeper cell that was activated. It's quite crazy, really. That's how it happened for me. It's different for everybody. I'm just sharing my experience, my journey, in the hope that it will support you if you're needing this support and this encouragement to continue and Yeah, reach out and comment if you're going through this and you would like any support. It can be a really tough, challenging journey, meeting all this pain, doing all the shadow work, and coming into your true gifts that you're here to share with the world. But now is the time. Now is the time. And so I encourage you onwards. And if there's anything that wants to assist with you with this, to really calibrate your truth, your own authority, your own sovereignty, to help you align with your mission and just strengthen you. Let's see if there's anything that wants to come through just to help with this, activate you. Kera kototakara nishe, ikara totokarashwana, otokarashwana, otokarashwana, tikaratakara kototakarashwittikani, ikara totakaratwuttakaratani, yakatoroshwittikarano. Oriani ka adira nashani yano, yani shano, yani shano, yani shano. Tikaratoto kotokarashwittikaratakata kono kotoishani, yarano, yarano, yarano. So what I'm feeling here now is actually, I haven't mentioned this, but actually the heart is central to this. Coming into the heart, all of my awakening was a heart awakening. Everything that my whole awakening process was about me connecting more and more deeply into my heart. And as I connect into my heart, I access my multidimensionality. It's like everything is here through the portal of the heart for me. And all my cosmic wisdom, everything is coming through the heart. And that's taken a lot of healing of the heart and just really centering in here. That's just my journey, like really into the caverns of the heart. I've been doing a lot of stuff around the heart, and it's been central to my awakening, so I can really bring more heart consciousness. Ya no ko era tikra to tikra sheio. Ikrani ishani, ishani, ishani. Kotoro nakatira ni te ranisha, kotori ni kania. Liana kotoria nika ashwani kania no. Yani no, yani no. Oria tikara katisha no koria nika tiara no. Kotoiran shia no, yani. And I'm the high heart, high heart. Orika kania te ranishania o. Yana kanishano, yakanishano. Yana kiranishano. Yaranikano. Sheano kotoriana. Ishano, ishano. Liana kantoriana katoriani shakoriana. Kia korianisha. Ia korianisha. Itanita koriata kanotikra tikra shwitikra niya. Otoko shanika tiano ko itakari tikrato shanika. Oria toko shwitikra nika oya nika oria nika. Tokkora katakatu ko shwitikra kitikra no koto tokoriana kitika shwit. Ikkato kotokra shwitikra nitakra no koto no koto otokrot, nikatokra ko shwitikra ni. Gato Gorianica, do Gordorianisha, Gordorianisha, Gatorianisha, Kiakateranica, Dorianica, O Doshwianica, Oriani, Oriani, Oriani. So I feel like this is just helping this awakening process to your truth, your absolute inner truth, that is not outside of yourself. Knowing that the power is within you. Kiano Gorianisha, Yakantorianisha, Yakatorianisha. So I'm feeling like there's some of this is about healing the heart. Yakatorianisha, Yakatorianisha. Yakotorianisha. Because in other lifetimes, there's been a lot of betrayal, a lot of distrust, a lot of unforgiveness. There's a lot of stuff that from other lifetimes that have built up around the heart. So we don't trust our heart. So it's quite difficult sometimes to come right into our heart space, to truly trust what our heart's telling us, trust our soul's messages. Yakoto koriatika shonu koriatika no koshakni. Kiania korianisha, kotorianisha, kotorianisha, Ika dokorianisha. Dekarana koto shwit dekarakata karakato koto shwit dekanika tiano kotoriansha. Yanisha kotorianisha katorianisha katorianisha. And part of this, obviously, this process is feeling this breakdown of old programs that hook us into, keep us plugged into the false narratives and keep us distracted, keep us out of our center, keep us out of our heart. So we have more trouble accessing this, our inner authority, our inner voice. And that's, of course, been playing out for a long time. So part of this is that's all breaking down now. So the truth will be revealed, our inner truth will be revealed. And the times we're going through, I think we can see that many of us are seeing through the veils of illusion. These veils of illusion and deception cannot hold. And so therefore the truth naturally emerges and arises, and we come to know our true divine nature. And all our gifts start coming online, and all of this magic starts happening. But obviously, there's a lot of push and pull with this at the moment. Kia koto pira no koto e shani ka no ira no ira no ira no kia ka te shani kotori ani ke tera no koto ranisha orianisha orianisha orianisha. Ya koto ranisha kotorianisha orianisha orianisha. Otakashini, otakashani, otakashani, ikrato, ikrate, ikrato, ishwit, ikano, 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 ikato koto, regana koto, ishwit, wit, 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 ikrata, anokoto, ikarate, anokoto, tikrwit, tikrakate, karakoto, tikrati, tikarakata, tikanokoto, tikshwit, tikanakata, kanokoto, ikartikato, koto, shwit, tikarakato, tikiranakata, tikrato, ikrate, ikrato. Ira katarana katorianasha, ira nakatarana katorianasha, ira nakatarana katorianasha. Oyashani, 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 oyashani. And really grounding, staying grounded and centered. I know I sound like a broken record saying this, but grounding and anchoring is so important, because we're here to ground and anchor our light into this reality, to transform it through us, through our physical vessels. You know, I've been hearing, and I had this sort of revelation today, like my team I'm working with. This is the thing, like I say, oh, I'm working with my team, my galactic team. But really, I am part of this team. It's not me, and then that's my team I'm channeling. It's like I am a representative. I'm the physical human representative of my team. I'm here channeling my team as the collective that I am part of. And that's what happens when we awaken to our multidimensionality. The separation isn't there. So it's like, okay, I'm just not this anymore. I'm this. With all of these different aspects and connections. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. Ya to koria to get you shoot the good to kata 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 to the crowd to kata on got to the kata 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 to the shoot the kata kata on got to get with the crash with the kata 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 on got to get with the crash stick it the kata got to shoot. Ya no got to get the crash with the kata no to irana. Oh Yanisha, oh Yanisha, oh Yanisha. Thank you, teammates. Kia no ko ia nika o tu korashani integrationi. Itika to kanisha kotoini. O tu koreta katini. O te krashtwit te karatik koto shwit ini. Yakatorianisha, yakatorianisha. Ya no korianisha, yakatorianisha, yakatorianisha. Yeah, and when you realize your magic and bring it to the world, it often won't make any sense whatsoever. This doesn't make sense to me whatsoever, what I'm doing. It doesn't make any rational sense at all. And we have to get used to that. We have to get used to being in a bit of confusion, a bit of like, I don't know, I don't have a context for this. I don't know this. This is an unknown path. It's a path of mystery. And that's the path of the mystic, of the spiritual warrior, is to not always have a clear path, but still walk anyway, still walk forward anyway, without knowing all the parts. It's a real walk of faith, you know, a walk of trust and faith, and really know using our inner compass. I've struggled a lot with this, you know. I think many of us do, because we want to be in control of it. We want to have an outcome. We want to have our write down our visions. My path has not unfolded like that. Obviously, trust what's right for you. I trust if you're still watching this video after all this time, that it is serving you and supporting you. And this, something I share today, might help even one person out there. I'm happy. I'm going to close now. Is there anything else that wants to come through before I close? Keep trusting your vision. So there is a vision, but the vision will often be a big picture thing, or a vision like a vision of new earth, a vision of harmony, a vision of love, a vision of the remembrance of our divinity, you know, a vision of fairness, a vision of equity, of whatever that is for you, freedom. And you might have an overall vision of what you want to bring to the world, and hold that, keep holding that, because that is your North Star. But all the details and all how that comes through might not be that clear. I'm saying this to myself as well. Thank you. So yeah, the channeled message I brought through, I'm just being reminded of, which is really about your mission, about stepping up into your mission, even if you're unsure, and even if it feels uncomfortable, because it won't feel comfortable. So if you're waiting for everything to feel aligned, if you're waiting for everything to, you know, have all the ducks in a row, and to think, okay, I feel aligned now, and I feel really high vibe now, so now I'll do something. It doesn't always work like that, because you're often more high vibe than you think you are. Because if you're a light worker, you will be deliberately in the trenches of low vibrational energies, because that's where you need to bring your light, and it won't always feel comfortable. And sometimes you have to push through that. You can still be in alignment, even if you don't feel 100%, if you don't feel, you know, all love and light that day. And I think that's something that holds a lot of us back. But I've learned that it's not what you think. Often your frequency is so high because of all the work you've been doing. But if you're a lighthouse, you're here to shine a light in the dark. So you will be in the trenches. Oh, I'm going to stop there. I trust this served and supported you. I'm really grateful that you're here. If you've come across this video and you like what I have to bring, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would like your feedback on this. It's been a bit more of a rambling conversation today. Yeah, but I wanted to bring this to you. So thank you for being here. And I hope to see you very soon. Take care.